Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute, taking a look at the hymns we'll be using tomorrow in worship, the 18th Sunday after Pentecost. And we will start with our communion hymn, Will You Let Me Be Your Servant? This hymn came to us in 1989, and it was originally started with the text, Sister, let me be your servant, and it ended in the fourth stanza with, Brother, let me be your servant. In the hymnal version, you'll notice that it became, Will you let me be your servant? This is important because what that did was it introduced this sense of universal acceptance in terms of brother and sister, and it's everybody, so it's universal. And it also retains the dignity of the recipient by asking permission before the service is rendered. So now it is, will you let me be your servant, as opposed to the let me be your servant, more the directive. Will you let me be your servant? Next, we will do our hymn of the day, All Are Welcome. And this is a Marty Haugen tune that we've done several of Marty Haugen's numbers. And this text was written as an attempt to reflect the welcome to the table fellowship that Jesus offers unconditionally to everyone. Even though this was originally 13 stanzas, our hymnal only contains 5. And the tune Kingsfold was actually the originally contemplated tune for this hymn. But then there was just some way the words and the text were in there that didn't work so well. So a new tune was composed, and it was named Two Oaks, and that was because the house of the people for whom the hymn was named that was written for, they faced two beautiful oak trees from their house. And so that's Two Oaks came from that. All are welcome. Next, we'll do our sending hymn, Lord of All Hopefulness. This is the oldest hymn that we're doing this week. This is first published in 1931, and it was organized as a collection of petitions in short form with an address, and then a phrase that described the attribute of God that was under consideration, and then a petition related to that attribute. So this ends up showing us a Lord of hopefulness, eagerness, kindliness, and calm. This is the Lord of All Hopefulness. We're going to switch over to the piano for this. And our last one is our gathering hymn, Praise to the Lord the Almighty. And this is the more modern version of Praise to the Lord the Almighty. And we just sang the original older version in the summer. This language has been updated to be more inclusive and lyrical. And the tune is anonymous, and it has several versions that have been used with the text, at least 4, maybe more. And it might have secular origins, but we're not 100% sure of that. This is going to be variations on Praise to the Lord the Almighty. Thank you for joining me this evening to look at our hymns for tomorrow. And if you're joining us in worship tomorrow in person, that'll be at 8:30 and 11 o'clock in the sanctuary here. The 11 o'clock service will be live streamed on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining me this evening. We'll look forward to being together again next week. Have a great evening.